Okay, I just feel like I needed to do a live emergency broadcast on tape from Manhattan, from the Hotel Le Tremont, because I probably made the biggest mistake of, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Every few years you have to go through like a close call, and New York just likes to do this to you. Uh, it's the Big Apple, but don't bite no worms. That's a text my uncle sent me. And it's not New York. I don't blame New York. It's not New York's fault. I mean, it's just, I blame Fauci in the mixed messaging. I mean, I didn't do the research that I needed to do. I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, full transparency, full disclaimer. I got it on Monday, the very last day before they discontinued it or paused it. And out of an abundance of caution, they said. So, if you look at the statistics, it's not necessarily a massive amount of cases of this. But, I mean, it's definitely not the thing that you want to hear the day after you got the damn vaccine. Like, I got it the last freaking day. Like, I mean, my thinking on it was, being the situation that I'm in, if I want to go anywhere, there's going to be people. So I kind of need to get the vaccine. I wanted to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because I didn't really do that much research into it. I kind of did a cursory scan, and one dose sounded better to me than having to go twice. I tried to take a shortcut, I guess. You always get punished for this kind of shit. And basically what I could gather from the articles was they were all equally effective, more or less. That was the messaging. That was the ultimate messaging of Fauci and the CDC or whoever, was ultimately like, whatever vaccine you can get, take it. Because it is safer than getting coronavirus. And the way things felt to me, it's like, okay, this is spiking in New York all around me. People are outdoor dining. Every time I go to the store, there's, and then my mom just got coronavirus last month, about a month ago. So it kind of hit close to home. So I was just like, okay, I need to get this done. If I want to have a life, and not only that, but I just want to get started just doing stuff. I want to meet up with people. I want to work. I want to do stuff in person like everybody does. And so I don't know. I should have read more about the different vaccines. I should have taken it more seriously because it is a serious thing. I was trying to be a little bit of like a badass kind of pioneer-spirited American and just be like, you know what, fuck it. It's all, it's my body can take it, whatever the fuck it is. I'll chew it up, I'll spit it out. And it's like, I don't fuck around with my health. I can't really do that. I mean, I haven't been to a doctor or had any kind of medical intervention really of any kind, I would say, in 7 years or so. And last time I went, there wasn't really any point, I mean, the coronavirus forces the situation because it has a higher, it's an immediate threat. So it's like you either get vaccinated for it or you're going to be in, like technically, statistically, it probably still is, it would be more dangerous to risk getting coronavirus. But I'm a little bit worried personally because the cases for this issue that is arise with people with low platelets, typically, supposedly, that's what it said. And I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor, like I said, in 7 years or something. I got a blood test in 2014 where they told me I had low platelets. Or low white blood cell count, I think. I think it's the same thing. But I don't know how low. They didn't necessarily diagnose me with anything. That could have just been that day. You know, I haven't had a series of blood tests that have told me this necessarily. This is not like a chronic, but I have autoimmune issues, and they're probably related. And, like, one of the things I'm worried about with coronavirus is, like, if I get it, is it going to cause some kind of fucking cytostorm or whatever the fuck this stuff is? Like, I'd rather just not fuck with that. And, like, I feel dumb because if you read even... So, the day before, okay, Saturday night, I'm supposed to go Monday morning. Saturday night, I cooked myself beefaroni, my turkey pasta special from Trader Joe's. And I got kind of, I don't know, I got a little bit of an upset stomach. So all day Sunday, I was just kind of not really feeling that great. And I'm sort of going back and forth, and I'm like, man, do I really want to get this vaccine? Like, can I reschedule it? Like, I'm not feeling good. Like... And I started to read more into it. You know, I started to read more about the differences between the vaccines. And I see, well, wait a minute. Fucking Pfizer and Moderna vaccine are 95% effective. And the fucking Johnson & Johnson vaccine is only 66% effective or 72. Like, whoa. That's way not as good. And, like, 66% in school, that's a fucking D. You know, that's not good. Plus, the name is Johnson & Johnson, which is very phallic, but it's also super corporate, super conglomerate, and, like, I associate them with, like, baby powder and, like, baby shampoo and shit like that. Like, I guess they made an Ebola vaccine that used this same technology. They weren't really vaccinating people with Ebola on this scale. This is millions of people. And I don't know, the logic of it is, if you read the articles, it makes sense that this problem might happen because the way that this vaccine works is different than the way that the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines work, which are 2 shots. They're an mRNA vaccine. And, you know, Pfizer and Moderna, those are like medical companies. You know, Pfizer, that's like Bayer, that's like... That's a trusted name in polluting your body with devastating drug warfare. But Johnson & Johnson, they make like baby powder. And it was just everything about it. I'm looking into it. I'm like, well, the other vaccines are $27 and $37, and the Johnson vaccine is $10. And then it's like, well, the other ones need to be stored at like negative 95 degrees or something. And the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, they're just like, fucking put it in a, you know, put it in a refrigerator. Put it in a bread box. It's good. You can drink it the next day. You can leave it out. It's like, okay, that does feel like a little bit of, like, I should have read between the lines a little bit more. I guess I was just being lazy about it and just trying to... I read as far as, like, they're all the same. This is one shot. I just... You know, I have commitments in a couple weeks, so it's like, it's 2 weeks after you're vaccinated. It's like... I didn't look for an appointment for Pfizer. I will say that when I signed up for my appointment on April 2nd or whenever it was that they made it like open to everybody, I looked specifically for a Johnson & Johnson vaccine because I'm a fucking moron. And I didn't read anything about it, honestly. I just saw that it's all the same, so I was like, okay, well, give me the fucking easy one then. And it's just like I didn't want to do the 3 weeks. It would have been like, okay, then I get a first shot, then I got to wait 3 weeks, then I got to wait 2 more weeks. It's like, okay. If I would have known the risks, that's what feels so fucking ham-handed about this pause, is it's like, first of all, the AstraZeneca vaccine in fucking Europe seems very comparable. They have the same issue. And it's about as effective that shot is 2 shots, which I don't get. So there's probably some differences, but it's like they paused this shit in Europe like a few weeks ago or a few days ago or something. I was reading articles about it. So Sunday when I'm in bed all day with like sort of upset stomach, maybe because I was nervous, maybe because my body's just telling me like, fucking don't do this. So I'm reading about it, and it's like, well, they already paused this shit in Europe. That should have been a red flag. There's a number of red flags with this. They fucked up like 15 million doses or whatever. Like, there's just been a lot of red flags with this. I don't know why they're trying to kill this fucking vaccine's reputation, because they had to have known that that's what was going to happen when they put it on pause. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's so much public distrust of the vaccines as it is that, like, they have to know that this is going to just completely torpedo anybody's trust in this vaccine for the most part, you know? And what the fuck are we supposed to do? We already took it. I just feel like completely duped, and I feel like, oh my God, like, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, you just got to sit and wait. You know, the chances are I'll be fine. I don't know how many people, like, suffer from low platelets. I imagine it's not necessarily that rare. It sounds like it could be a common-ish, not like common, but like, you know, it's probably not like a very, very slim percentage. So I'm just thinking, well, right now it's 6 people and like 7 million doses. I mean, what I will say is, like, people haven't been taking it that long. So a lot of, you know, they said it doesn't develop for 6 to 13 days. So it's like a lot of cases probably haven't developed yet. So we don't really know what the true statistics are. I mean, I was surprised when I got that blood test back in 2014 and they told me I had low platelets, because every other doctor had told me that it was all in my head and I was totally fine, and I just was stressed and I needed to figure out ways to, like, relax. And, like, granted, I am like a very overthinky, neurotic person, so, like, this is like fodder for that. Definitely, this is like, you know, just a perfect thing to sort of be worried about. I'm not that worried, to be honest. Like, percentage wise, it is like a very unlikely thing, to be honest. I have it's just frustrating because, like, this is why I was so careful for the last year. So to just make a really dumb mistake like this, just careless. I'm sure I'll be fine. Part of what is, I mean, in a way, I'm sort of thankful that they did it seems to me like they didn't necessarily have to pause it in order to get the doctors the info. I mean, it's good. It's good that they're pausing it, because then it's going to prevent more people from having this issue potentially. But part of the point is they're trying to communicate to doctors how to treat it. That's good, you know. So if there is a problem, I mean, the statistics, they can treat it. I'm just wondering if this is going to be a lingering thing. Like, is this something I'm going to have to worry about for the rest of my life? Like, this is a potential, like, oh my God, it's in your system. Like, at any time, like, your body could just, like... I mean, my mentality going into it was, like, all these people I know are, like, 90 years old, and they lived through all kinds of shit and doing all kinds of horrible stuff to their body, and polio vaccine and this and that and shots and this and that, and it's like, if they can do it, I mean, fuck. If you believe it, if you believe in it yourself, and you just... I just wanted to get it over with, you know, and be a hardy person, you know, of the earth, and just fucking... it's not going to hold me down. It's not going to take me down. I don't know. You always you're an American. You put totally poisonous, cheap shit in your body all the time. I don't know. I can't really afford to make those mistakes. And, like I said, Sunday I'm reading up about this, and I'm just like, I tried to look at rescheduling my appointment and getting the Pfizer, and it was like the next appointment I could get was like May 16th. So it was like that would have been another month. It's like I can't live inside for another month. Like, I just can't do it. I needed to get it done. And I didn't look that hard, I guess. I didn't really want to do it at like a pharmacy for some reason. I wanted to do it at Javits Center. I felt like they probably were going to be the most like professional and like competent. I'm not really sure. It was a fine experience. And I did bring up the issue with, I did say, I have autoimmune problems, including like a platelet. I did say to the guy, I went over, I talked to a nurse beforehand, and I said, I have a low platelet issue, do you think that this is like going to be a problem? And he said, he thought it was about bleeding. He thought it was like, just hold the Band-Aid tighter to your arm. You'll be fine. We'll just make sure to do that. And so I was like, okay. I did talk to the fucking nurse. He marked it down that we had a conversation. And I brought it up. Like I said, I mean, maybe at that point, I'm surprised that they didn't have any information about it because, like I said, they've been having this problem in Europe, and they already paused it in Europe. Like, it's not a huge deal. I mean, that's kind of what my mom was saying too, is just like, with every medication, they have issues. But they haven't had this issue, as far as I know. I've heard conflicting shit. They haven't had this issue with the Pfizer and the Moderna. I don't know if they've had other kind of... I don't think they have, but the percentage, I mean, there's only been even one fatality with this issue. There's been 6 cases, I think, but only one. So it's like 1 in 7 million people or something. And the other thing is they were all female, which is fucked up, that the drug is sort of misogynist and patriarchal and designed for men. I don't know, I've just been looking at various comments and shit, and one guy brought up, he was a hematologist, and he thought there was probably an estrogen link. So, I mean, in that sense, like, it is very low percentage, even if I do have low platelets, quote unquote, which I'm not sure. That could have just been an error in the test or something. I had more problems with, like, my gums would bleed and things when I'd brush my teeth back then. I don't really have those problems anymore. So I'm not really sure if that's a big issue with me, but they didn't mention anything about autoimmune being a corollary or anything like that. I would say that that's my principal problem, is that's what's difficult about my nervous system. I would say that my nervous system is, like, especially nervous, and, like, it's not always easy, it's impossible for me to tell between when something is, like, a real threat and, like, when it's just my nervous system kind of like, well, now that I have autoimmune problems, my nervous system is constantly, like, active on the left side of my body. Like, even right now, since I took the vaccine, frankly, my arm has hurt. My arm hurt a lot. It's starting to feel better, but it hurt a lot yesterday and today. Just very sore. I couldn't really lift it, It hurt when I kind of lifted it above my head. Not a huge deal. I knew there was going to be side effects, and to be honest, they weren't really that bad. That's the other thing I was reading on Sunday. I was trying to read what the side effects were, just so I know what to expect. And, I was a little afraid of that. And that was sort of like, oh, should I try to get the other vaccine? But to be honest, they weren't really that bad. But I will say that now I have felt like a continuous, like even right now, I feel kind of a buzzing in my foot and in my heat. I felt like this kind of continuous kind of buzzing and like tension in my heel, underneath like my inside kind of heel bone by my Achilles, and kind of up my leg. I felt different, like my back muscles kind of, I don't know. There's traveling kind of, but mostly in my lower, and it's like, well, what the fuck is that? Is that a clot? I don't think so. I think it's probably just, it's nothing that I haven't felt before. Anytime I'm feeling tension or like overly self-aware, it's easy to think, oh my God, I've got X, Y, or Z problem. I thought I had multiple sclerosis for a while, about a decade ago, because I have these neuropathy problems. And the other question is, well, how's the vaccine going to interact with that anyway? Is that going to... I thought it might help correct them. That was kind of dumb and misguided. I felt pretty good, to be honest. I really haven't felt that bad at all, but I definitely have kind of like, tensions and weird sensations in my legs and throughout my kind of left side of my body. They gave me the shot in the left. This is the side of my body that's already fucked. So I just thought, yeah, just shoot it in there. Join the party. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I guess it was all pretty goddamn reckless. It's just the lamest way to OD that you possibly could. It's just the most uncool. The needle. Way to put the needle in your arm. It's not even any fun or anything. The side effects and whatnot themselves did feel like some kind of really bad trip. This whole thing has felt like a really bad trip. It's felt like, oh God, I took some bad acid or something. And it's just like, oh well, like, you buy the ticket, you take the ride, like, it's too late. Like, once the acid is dissolved, it's like, it's too fucking late. Like, that's how I feel. When I got that, so Tuesday morning, I'm fine or whatever, I'm making breakfast, I look at my phone, I've got a Twitter alert notification. CDC and FDA suspend or whatever Johnson & Johnson vaccine over. And so I think, oh my God, what is this? I just got this fucking thing yesterday. Like, the timing couldn't be any more. I just feel like it's just a stupid mistake. Considering that there's no risk with the other vaccine's more effective. All the smart people got the other vaccine because they read into it. I'm an idiot. I just rushed into it. I wanted to get it over with. And, I don't know. I'm probably just being overly paranoid, and I'm sure nothing will happen. It reminds me of an experience, the experience I had here when I first moved to New York in 2009, February, and I hit the Gordon Bombay. I smoked this PCP weed, and I thought I was going to be, like, mentally incapacitated for, like, the rest of my life. I was like, scared. I was legitimately like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, I've done irreversible damage to, like, my brain. And it took me a few days to snap out of it. It was scary. It was, like, the first time in my life I was ever like, oh my God, I've done permanent damage. Like, I'm not coming back from this. And I felt that way a few other times. But it's always, that's one of the things you learn about. Maybe it's just me. But I don't know. I feel like every couple years I have some kind of like serious scare. I mean, with the internet especially, I think it's very easy to like, if you read about it at all, even in comment sections, it's like, well, this person puts this idea out there and you're like, oh my God, what if that happens to me? I will say that most of the comments about this pause have been kind of on the side of like it's unnecessary, to be honest. That's most of what I've heard is like it's going to cost more lives for them to stop the vaccine rollout because more people are going to die of coronavirus. Like it's statistically, it's still less dangerous to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I mean, I'm not sure if that includes people who have low platelets. I'm not sure what the risk there is. They haven't really talked about that. But they have emphasized that it's 18 to 48-year-old females. And most of what I see in the comments section is about how, well, with birth control, the incidence of blood clotting is like 1 in 1,000. It's much higher, much, much, much higher. And they just give that to women, every fucking day. Like it's candy. I mean, I've read specifics in the comments where they talked about, well, it's a different kind of clotting. This is like supposedly a brain clot or something. God knows, man. Who fucking knows? It's not really even worth thinking about. Once again, it's like the internet. It just magnifies. It makes everything like you think everything pertains to you. And they're talking about you. And it's like the statistics are incredibly low. But it's one of these mindfuck things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so perfectly unfolded. Like, in the most disastrous way possible. And like it seems to pertain explicitly to me, like this thing with the platelets. And this is what my health scare was like 7 years ago. This is just the Matrix fucking with you. You just have to persevere through it. That's what I mean. It's like there's fear all around you. The chances that you could die or get hurt are constant. They're all around you always. But it's just like you have to continue to move forward. Like, you can't really... It doesn't matter one way or the other, to be honest. Like, I mean, it feels especially... scary right now because a lot of people are just dying in really unexpected ways. People, are just being plucked. It's just like it's a very precarious time. So you definitely don't want to take any chances. But that's also the context of the moment we're in. I don't know. It's like, is the risk any higher? I don't know why there seems to be like a relation or a chorus to like just, I mean, a lot of people are dying from things that aren't even coronavirus right now, just because it's a hard time and it's like everything's stressed and so like I said, you don't want to take any chances, but I mean, part of living and part of getting older is just like you live through this shit, Like, if you look at somebody that's 90 years old or something, it's like, think of how much shit like this they've lived through. Like, maybe I over-exaggerate things and I'm more prone to, like, feeling, like, life-threatening health crises or something when they're not really there. Maybe I am just like being unrealistic about it. But, I mean, think about... I mean, even just, like, the twists and turns of, like, the history that surrounds us is kind of difficult to go through. Like, just to live through, it's like, God, this is scary. This is dangerous. This is stressful. There's danger all around us. There has been for a year, you know. We don't know what the fuck's going on. I should have read more into it. I fucked up. It does feel like a chess game where I, like... I made some kind of move you can't take back. I'm sure I'll just live through it and life will go on, you know. That's the lesson you learn when you see older people. That's what's so amazing about, you know, older people, is they've been through so much. Like, it's scary, it's hard. Even just like regular living is like difficult. Earning a living and just earning your keep. But then it gets like scary. There's big wars. There's, you know, uncertainty. There's famine. There's disease. There's crime. There's pollution. Tragedy. I mean, I think that I am here for a reason. You know, this situation, I'm very grateful to be in it. I didn't come this far for it to get... I mean, it's absurd. It's just not... I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited. The 30th, I've got my dream job lined up. I'm in my dream apartment. I got a lot of dates on the cooker. You know, I'm trying to get on Manhattan News Network. I'm going to put my show on Manhattan Public Access. I got a lot of big plans. And I'm perfectly situated to get it done. I've got money in the bank. You know, I mean, this is just a test as I walk through the valley in the shadow of death. I was not afraid. You just keep walking, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'm more prone to, like, being afraid for my health than other people are. But I do try to be brave and just persevere and live my life anyway. That's what getting this shot was about. They said just get whatever shot you can. I don't know. I don't know when this was first on their radar. You think this would have been on their radar for a while, and they would have at least, like, put up some kind of screen for it, rather than just like, we're gonna pause everything. Like, they should have put up a screen for people that have this problem. As soon as they found out that this is what was going on in Europe, they should have put up a screen. I mean, there's been so much of distrust of the CDC and the FDA through this whole fucking thing, so it's like, I don't necessarily want to trash them, but, like, it does seem like they're just trying to communicate some kind of big, broad message that they have to keep as many people safe as possible. So it's not necessarily like they're giving you the straight story. It's hard to know. It's hard to fucking know. Like, they claim that they did this to keep the public trust. They claim that they think that people will appreciate this, that they paused it. And I guess I would appreciate it if I had a fucking appointment one day later. But, the twist of fate. It's just a good story. You know, that's like everything with me. I don't know why this happened. You know, things were going so well. I was just so happy. Oh my God, I was so happy. Literally. I remember exactly this time the other day thinking to myself, I'm so fucking happy. Everything is going great for me. I'm so fucking happy. And now this. It's not that bad because it is just such a ridiculous situation. And the odds that it's actually going to affect me are pretty low. But we don't know. Who fucking knows, man? One of the things I read was kefir with probiotics was one of the most effective treatments they had for this storm or whatever it is that happens with COVID. So I thought maybe I'd get some kombucha or something to get some fermented probiotics to prevent any kind of rowdiness in my bloodstream. See, like right now I'm feeling this buzzing in my lower left leg. Now anybody with normal body would be like, holy shit, what is this? For me, that's just like, okay, my body has all kind of weird shit all the time. That might just be stress. You know, that could be a diet thing. I mean, I'm sure, or more likely, it's just like my nervous system. Like, nothing is actually, you know, it's like a pins and needles. You know, if you have neuropathy and like a confused nervous system and immune system, like you can have weird feelings on throughout your body that just like don't mean anything. So part of what that taught me about health stuff is like, I don't know, like I said, the attitude with most Americans is like, unless it's some kind of super fucking, unless it's swollen or something, it's like, unless you're bleeding, like you're gonna be fine. So that's the way that I kind of look at it. You know, that's the way I've been trained through, you know, the years of like not being able to see doctors and having doctors not really give me any answers. It's just like, hey, if you're not, you know, if there's not a lot of like swollen tenderness, pain or something, it's like, it's probably just some kind of fucking, we don't know what the fuck it is. Like, there's nothing we can do. And I don't know, your nervous system is just constantly sending pain signals, and so with this will be an interesting couple weeks. I mean, I'm not like that much less happy. To be honest, when I said that thing earlier about how I felt happy, like I still feel pretty happy. I'm not that worried about this. It's just a weird layer that's like over everything now. Once I get 2 weeks from, I mean, it's already Thursday, Friday, so a week and a half, I'll be immune. You know? And that's in all likelihood what's going to happen. And if that's not the case, you know, well, these hospitals, the doctors are aware of it. They know how to treat it. They're sort of anticipating it. It's on their radar because it's a big news story, you know. But I wonder, I feel like stigmatized, to be honest. Now I feel like embarrassed. I had a fucking Instagram post about it. It was literally probably the most popular Instagram moment I've ever had. 99 people saw it. I'm not sure if 100, but it was definitely 99. And it was my fucking picture of my goddamn Johnson & Johnson vaccine card. And so a lot of people sent me messages that was like applause. And it was just like, oh my God. Now I feel like a fool. I feel like now everybody knows that I got the dirty vaccine, the dangerous one. And it is just like Russian roulette. It's like, oh my God, what did I just put in my fucking body? What the hell was that? I mean, I guess, like my mom said, with any drugs, there's a chance it can kill you. So maybe with this shit, it's not even any higher than Tylenol or something, you know? Like, that's the way I was looking at it. It's like, I don't know, your body's a resilient thing. It's tough to kill. That's what's weird about it. It's so fragile. and can just be snuffed out, but it's also really tough to kill. So I really am enjoying life. I really want to stay alive. I think there's a lot to be done, and I think we're going to do it. Like, that's what this is about. That's what I mean. These near-death experiences kind of clarify and embolden you, because they just put shit in perspective. You're just like, fuck. There's no time to like be scared or nervous or like. It's just like. I'm ready to keep going though. I'm ready to live, thrive, and survive. And I hope I can get some kind of super fat ass check from the government, because this is fucking bullshit, to be honest. Like, is this some kind of giant experiment? Because that's what all of the anti-vaxxers think. They all think like, holy shit, I'm not taking that. We don't know what's in it. They haven't tested it. They're just throwing this out. It's like, I mean, I don't agree with those people. But I also might be a victim of big government inoculation. The microchip. I got killed by the vaccine. No, I don't think so, but it's funny to talk about. To joke about. But like, they had to know that this is just gonna like destroy people's confidence. Like, there's so many skeptics about this the vaccines already. I think it's just, and like, the truth is, we don't know. I mean, with the polio vaccine, we have this Jonas Salk, who was an honorable person. He didn't patent it. He gave it to the world for free, and he nailed it. He took it first, and like, it just was perfect, you know. This, I don't know if there's that same, I mean, the fucking, you know, contracts they were giving it, like Kodak at one point was like one of the fucking like vendors for this. It's like, it just seems a little weird to me and arbitrary, and it's like Johnson and Johnson. It's like, I don't know. I just rubbed that stuff on my baby's ass. And I don't know. I've just been talking about it. I thought it was this funny fucking punchline on my vlogs and shit. Now look. It's become this huge, gravely consequential. Well, like I was saying, I mean, we don't know. Is this gonna be like something I'm gonna have to worry about for the rest of my life? That this is like some potential thing that's just like in my bloodstream that like could go off at any time? Or does it wear off after, you know, a few weeks, a few months? That's pretty frustrating. I mean, in all likelihood, it's not going to be a big deal at all. And life goes on. That's what I'm predicting. But I also want to get my affairs. I want to settle my affairs. I want to do a video will and last will and testament just to get everything in order. So there's record of how I want shit to go down. Just when and if. I don't even think, like I said, there haven't even been that many fatalities with these blood clots. Only one person is even in fucking ICU or critical condition. The other, 4 people or however many. So, nothing is a foregone conclusion with this. And there's just we're on a mission from God. But I do think I want to dictate, should I just do that now? I want my books to, well, I wanted them to get a poet's house, but now that place is like a union busting, fucking, they're not, I don't even know if they're going to be open anymore. Now in the COVID fucking post-pandemic, who knows what we're heading towards also. Like, the Chauvin trial just ended today. And depending on how that verdict comes down, that could make things, pretty heated. And among other things, just like the re-entry into normal life or the way it was before, and getting the vaccine, and everybody's sort of pushed to, like, we want to get vaccinated, we want to go out and socialize. I mean, all these people I'm talking to on Hinge, it's like they act like they've just been life as usual for the past year. It's like, what? I haven't even talked to anybody for like a year, hardly. Like, this person's just acting like it's another, day, like nothing's even going on. It's like, what the fuck? This is gonna be like the first date I've been on in like a year. Like, plus. So I don't know, the push to reopen, the push to like do things in person. Like, I know a lot of people are doing like shows out, in person and stuff. In theaters and for people that are vaccinated. It's become like a status thing. And that's what I mean with like they're stigmatizing the Johnson & Johnson thing. Now it's like Pfizer is the gold standard. If you got the Pfizer vaccine, like, you're good to go. You can go anywhere. You can, if I would have got the Pfizer vaccine, I wouldn't even have to worry about this. Seriously. This would not even be an issue at all. There's been no issues with this whatsoever with their vaccine, and their vaccine's more effective. How fucked up is that? This thing's only 2/3 effective? How can... What? I can't believe I'm even, like, risking my shit for this. Like, just stupid. And then other people are going to look down on it. Like, oh, well, I'm only 66% covered. You're at risk if you're with me. My fucking Johnson & Johnson broke ass. So I don't know. I can't really lie to people. I can't really be like, yeah, I got the Pfizer. I got the 2 shots. And yet, I feel like I'm just going to sound like I'm some mangy fucking diseased. Oh my God, you got the Johnson & Johnson? Like, is it gonna, like I said, is it gonna continue to be a threat, or is this just like, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, people are just gonna, like, there's gonna be more and more cases of this, or like, does it develops within 2 weeks, or you're good? I mean, this is almost as bad. I mean, it's not as bad as having coronavirus, but it's like this is precisely the risk I was trying to avoid. So the fact that like there was no disclaimer about it whatsoever, and then all of a sudden they pause it, it's like, holy shit. I want some fucking money. I want some goddamn malpractice money. Like, that is absurd. Donate my books to, I think Columbia University Library would want them. I donate my archive to, I don't know, maybe someplace in Columbus, Ohio needs it a bit more. I'm not sure. Just bury me with all of it. I want just bury me in this apartment. Move all my stuff in here. That's my last wish. Just mummify me in this apartment with all my riches. All my poems, all my books. Well, I've got all my notebooks here. I definitely like to see my notebooks get published. I've got a number of things that I've already typed up. My Contagion journal. They're all in my Google Drive. The LA Story book. It'd be nice to get reprints of the Paris book. But also all my chat books and all my just really everything that I've written over the past 5 years. Just type all of it up, publish all of it in one giant book, because it deserves to be. It's a continuous work. It's like, it's all dated, and it's literally just everything that's happened to me. It's a mega stirpiece. It's an epic scale of daily life. Minutia grande. Minutia deluxe. They're all in my Norm Singer makeup case. All my videos, I don't know. Just get the work out there. You know, try to get people to see it. My videos. My music. My live performance archive. My YouTube masterclass, the pandemic live streams, all the transcriptions of those, they're in the Google Drive. I want that published as a super novel, 1,000 pages. It's actually like 4,000 pages, but at least the 1,000-page version I want published, just as is. No editing. No punctuation, no correcting the fucking transcriptions. There's more. I'll do more. That's not all there is to it, but that's basic, vague outline, you know. Keep my YouTube page alive. Make sure people see scenes from life. No, I'm going to be fine. I've got a lot more TV shows to make. We gotta just keep doing it, you know. We gotta keep living. There's a lot more years. There's a lot more years to come. I've got a lot of good things on my schedule, a lot of nice things in the pipeline. I've got a reading April 22nd. I've got some jobs lined up. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Should I do an hour? That's not quite an hour. I feel like I need to round it off to an hour. I just don't know what else there is to talk about. Did I cover everything? I'm sure there's more, but I don't know. After 2 weeks I'll be vaccinated, and theoretically I'll be in the clear. They did say that it develops from 6 to 13 days after you get the vaccine. So, theoretically, after 13 or 14 days, whatever effects the damn thing's going to have kind of, you know. And I think that's how it's going to be. the weather's supposed to get nice-ish starting tomorrow. So, the fuck. It's just an interesting kind of time period to be in. I feel like I'm in this weird kind of like free fall or something. You know, like I'm not really sure. I'm waiting for the is this the end for me, or I guess you know, well, life goes on, and I can sort of talk about it and joke about it. It's hard to know how real to take it. I don't know how. I mean, 5 million people got this fucking vaccine. Like, I imagine they feel about it like how I do. They probably feel like, you motherfuckers. Like, I feel really duped. I mean, maybe they don't feel as bitter as I do. They probably feel like, well, it's better to have the vaccine than get coronavirus. Whereas for me, I'm thinking, well, what about this platelet thing? Like, for me, I'm not sure if that's true. It probably is. Like, coronavirus is still probably more of a threat, but I don't know. And so, I want a big fucking government cash bonanza. This is insane. I do feel like it's like the government has a history of, you know, mass experimentation or mass biowarfare, mass psyops. Is this just some big fucking psyop biowarfare experiment? Like when they put LSD, you know, in all the water in that town or whatever. It's just some mass CIA fucking... I don't know. It feels like a weirdly crucial event. I know that after I live through it and I survive, and, you know, I'm many years, you know, from now, it'll just be another fucking bump in the road. But right now, it's just this weird, like, god damn, what kind of consequences is this gonna have on me? You know, I'm feeling all these weird, like, okay, I feel weird kind of thing. But that's just immune, you know? Like, that's just your immune system, like... The vaccine is just working its way through your, you know... Then your thing's going, okay, there's this new thing, here it is. I don't know. I just don't know if I trust whatever this new technology it is. The adenoid or whatever the fuck it is. It's not the mRNA. It's too late now. I mean, the die is cast. That's one thing I don't like about it. I don't like being in situations where I feel like I can't go back. Like I've crossed a threshold, and particularly making like a potentially major mistake. Like when I was playing Chris Yeager and I moved my queen out in the wrong way, and he checkmated me in like the 5th move. As soon as I made the move, it's like, oh my god, no, I need to take it back, and it was too late. You can't. You take your hand off the piece, you can't take it back. You know, it's like losing something. It's like it's gone. You know, oh, I left my fucking sweater in a cab. It is fucking gone. Like certain shit, it's just like, that shit is just gone. You know? I don't like that feeling. I'm always checking my pockets, make sure, I'm kind of OCD. I'm becoming more OCD. Because as I get older, I think I, like, can't deal with, like, losing things. Like... the sensation of getting older, the sensation of, like, permanent change. Oh, I'm not the way that I was. I've never really been able to deal with that. But, like, I had this really nice purple sweater. I looked great in it, and I left it at a gig. And I'm just, that feels, like, so heartbreaking to me. I cannot get that sweater back. Ever. Like, that fucking sucks, man. I mean, that's life. I try to hold on to everything. That's why I have all these goddamn books. I can't get rid of any of my clothes. They all have holes in them. Like I said, I'm checking. Okay, what do I have? My keys, my wallet, my notebooks, my phone, my. Okay, did I leave the? Did I unplug the toaster? Did I turn the stove? Nothing's left on. Okay. I'm just constantly like, okay, did I mean, that might be just like a stoner thing, I guess. That plays a lot into this. If I wasn't high, would I really be like, I'm not really freaking out about this that much. But would I have even made this mistake if I wasn't kind of careless in that way? I don't know. That's not I wouldn't necessarily say that's why this went down this way. For whatever reason, I just got the idea in my head I wanted the Johnson & Johnson because it was one shot. It's not even really that I'm afraid of needles that much. It's just like I just didn't want to do like 3 weeks and then 2 more weeks. It's like, I got to get this done. I got shit to do. But act in haste, repent in leisure, or not at all. Maybe you don't get the chance. I mean, I'm sure things are fine. I'm revving up for an awesome summer, for a legendary summer. I got a date lined up at Reunion, this fucking surf-themed bar. So, I'll have to explain myself somehow to that person when I meet them. Why I am the way I am. Is that everything I wanted to cover? I don't know. That's just what's been going on with me. This is going to be the first of the the death meditations. I'm not going to die, but this is just one of those moments where we're kind of suspended. It happens from time to time. I mean, everybody has health crises of one kind or another. Everybody gets scared about, this or that problem. So we've all been through it. It's a scary thing, the idea that there could be a threat to your body and your well-being. But my soul is ready. Is yours? There's just too much work to be done here. I'm just gonna be staying busy, just going for walks. I've got a thing Sunday I'm gonna go to. Save East River Park. They want to turn that into some kind of fucked up corporate domino park or some shit. I don't even know. So, what the fuck? Let's get involved. Let's just do it. What the hell? I'm vaccinated. Sort of. I mean, the immunity doesn't kick in for 2 weeks. So, if I make it that far, look out. We'll be good to go. Alright, well, live from New York, thank you for watching. It's the Frankly Fabulous Show. Donate money, leave comments. My experience living with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That's right. I feel like I'm in the center of the news in a way that I really don't want to be, and I feel like I've been trying to avoid for like a year. Like, you don't want to be a statistic. You don't want to be one of the fucking places they're talking about or people they're talking about. It's like this. It's like, oh my God, I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I'm one of the 5 million in this crude social experiment. Like, I feel like we should get checks. I legitimately do. Like, especially me, because I am at risk for this, definitely. And I tried to get clarification about that. And just a day too early. And that's some fucking bullshit. It's just there's no way. It's just too. My life is constantly inventing things like this that would just be like, oh, this would be the neat kind of, or like, oh my God, wouldn't it be horrible if this happened? Like before, it was like, oh, what if I get coronavirus like right before I moved to New York, and I can't go or something, something like that. It's like you're always the dramatist within is always exaggerating things, kind of like in the most extreme paranoid, like, oh my God, what the fuck, if this would be the worst thing that could possibly happen, like, oh my God, I have this sick apartment, got all this money, got these dream jobs, all my every book I ever wanted, everything's coming together. I got my, I'm getting my TV show back together, just everything's going good. I'm gonna get going on dates again, and then I make a stupid mistake. And all of my, 10 years of health problems and trying to eat the right thing and live the right way and be careful and treat myself, it all just goes down the drain with one shot. Just like Philip Seymour Hoffman or fucking... I don't know, did Johnny Thunders OD? Who else OD'd? It's the lamest thing you can do. I OD'd on the vaccine. I OD'd on an abundance of caution. No way. There's too much partying to do. I want to live, baby. I'm gonna live. I'm determined. I'm frankly fabulous. Nothing. You motherfucking coronavirus, you motherfucker. You're not killing shit, motherfucker. You can't fuck with this. You can't fuck with frankly fabulous. I'll fuck you up, man. It did feel like getting the vaccine is like the final boss. It feels like, okay, I'm going head to head with fucking COVID. I'm getting it injected into my body, and we're just gonna fucking throw down, and like I'm gonna beat its ass, and then I'm gonna be invincible, and that's it. Once I conquer that, once I conquer death, and I conquer the ultimate fear, then I will be truly free. And that's where I'm gonna be 2 weeks from now, folks. I don't know where you're gonna be. I'll be live streaming. Keep watching. It's the Frankly Fabulous Show. I'm Frankly Fabulous. Staying alive, baby, and loving it. Here in the most dangerous city in the world, Manhattan motherfucking city. Good night, folks.